Shalom Akim. All praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you. I can doing the work of truth and sincerity. This is going to be a quick video because Vocab said something on this video. By the way, this video is talking about what happened recently with the two teenage girls and the father dying allegedly of starvation. And they saying that they were fasting and they all died basically. And I don't know about that. I'm not even sure because some of the things that they saying just don't add up. These are supposed to be the girls. That's the girl's stepfather, where my clicker is at, and this is the girl's mother, and their father basically died. Their biological father died with them. Allegedly, they all starved to death, but they don't have enough information on it really. So, Vocab, the devil, was talking to them, and this whole thing, at least the last hour of it, because I watched it. The last hour of it, all they were doing was demonizing the Hebrew Israelites. That's all they was doing. The whole last hour of it. During that time, Vocab mentioned something, and I'm gonna play probably a 5-second clip of it. 5-10 second clip. By the way, fair use. And let him say what he said that sparked me to do this video. But yeah, this the biological father supposedly listened to some quote unquote black Hebrew Israelite groups, and one of the names mentioned was Rap the News, and hey, and the Old Testament only Israelites. But like I said, this video is not about that. It's about this statement that Vocab made. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip.
Like dissidents or in some case strangers, and then killing them in pretty grotesque ways. So this is the thing. And then we haven't even talked about what happened to MLK's mom, assassinated by Hebrew Israelite Austin Smith here in Phoenix.
So that right there, MLK's mom assassinated by a Hebrew Israelite. Now, of course, Hebrew Israelites know that the so-called Negroes, Indians, Latinos are Hebrew Israelites. But I wanted to look this up because, in all honesty, I never heard about it. So I went on Wikipedia first, of course, and of course it says Alberta Christine Williams King, blah 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 blah, black Hebrew Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Killed by what? Shot. She was shot and killed in church by Marcus Wayne Chestnut, a 23-year-old black Hebrew Israelite, 6 years after the assassination of Martin Luther King. I'm like, what the hell? I've never heard the phrase black Hebrew Israelite until maybe about 2008, 2009, when the apostles basically got out there and started teaching on the corners and putting it on YouTube. That's when you hear the phrase coined, black Hebrew Israelite, which we are not black Hebrew Israelites. We are Hebrew Israelites according to the prophecies of the Bible and the secular history. And if you don't know what secular history means, it just means history without quote unquote religion. That's all it means. So according to the prophecies of the Bible and secular history, hey, we are the real Israelites, the descendants of the Hebrew Israelites. So, moving on, I mean, it says that he is a black Hebrew Israelite. And I'm like, this man has never claimed that. And we know he never claimed it. Because if that was the case, then we would have grew up hearing it. So, I had to further look into this, Marcus W. Chestnut Jr., murderer born. And of course, this is Edomite supported page, and it's got it again. His parents were, yeah, it says his parents. He adopted the theology of Black Hebrew Israelites, which did not exist at that time. The phrase didn't even exist at that time. Were there Israelites teaching a doctrine that we were the original Israelites? Yeah, I'm sure it was. It's 1974, and it was just getting started. But this phrase did not exist. So I'm like, man, how can I prove that this phrase did not exist at that time? I mean, within these articles. So I kept looking, and another story, alive. So I'm reading down. It says published March 18th, 2021, and updated March 19th, 2021. But when you read this article, if you read it all the way through, there is no mention of Black Hebrew Israelite in this article. Nowhere in it. And I'm like, so that's basically where the proof is. The proof is in the pudding right there. You know, this is the main part of the article. Alberta Williams King, the last moment alive, was in the same church she grew up in and then raised her children in on June 30th, 1974. The beloved community member was shot while she played the organ during a Sunday service inside her safe haven of Ebenezer Baptist Church. The man responsible was later arrested. She died 6 years after the murder of her son. Now, you know, it's like, okay, so it didn't mention it in this one. But I also noticed that it had the date that this was published. On these first two articles, the Wikipedia, and on this one, no, it don't show the date. It doesn't show the date that this was written. Now, and I can almost guarantee you it was written very recently. Most likely sometime this year. So then I went to another one, Essence, from the Essence magazine. And when you read down through this article, updated May 6, 2022, but you don't see the term Black Hebrew Israelite in this article either. Nowhere in this article. And here, what was it? Right here it says, young man later identified as Marcus Wayne Charnote of Ohio reportedly jumped up and screamed, "You must stop this. I am tired of all this. I am taking over this morning," according to Atlanta Magazine. He then bolted to the pulpit and pulled out a gun. He fired his weapon and hit Mrs. King, Church Deacon Edward Boykin, and Congressmember Jimmy Mitchell. Chernow was wrestled to the ground by bystanders while attempting to reload, all the while consistently yelling about the war. Constantly yelling about the war. He was delirious. He appeared to be in a fever. He said over and over, "The war did this to me. It's the war," Mrs. King's grandson, Derek, said. So he was basically yelling about the war, basically to try to fuel his plea of insanity. He never mentioned that he was a Hebrew Israelite or anything. So it's like, where did they get this from? Unless they're lying and just trying to demonize the Hebrew Israelites, because he never mentioned it. Just like in this story that they're doing, they say he is supposedly affiliated with the Hebrew Israelites, but then they say he learned his doctrine from Old Testament onlys and Rap the News. And it's like, come on, man. And it was basically just a demonization fest. Like, oh, if we'd have known he was a Black Hebrew Israelite, if you just should have told somebody. It's bullshit. Because of course I wrote in the comments section later on, I'm like, so you act like Christians didn't do many more terrible things or horrendous things than this? And it's like, oh, they forget all the things These fake Christians, these so-called Christians, do plantation Christianity did, like the Edomite that shot up that church recently, or the Roman Catholic Church that's constantly raping little boys and girls, molesting little boys and girls. But no, that's not no problem. So even if this is a thing, he was an Israelite, and they basically fasted themselves to death. Even if it was a thing, one, he was trying to do it out of righteousness, which uh, who knows what spirit the Lord put on him to basically fast himself to death and his daughters. You know, not even gonna comment on it. However, at least he was trying to do a righteous thing, not like the wicked things that you so-called Christians do, or the Roman Catholic Church does. But anyway, I digress. There's another story for another day. Getting back on this subject about these lies right here, just putting it in text as if it was there all along when it wasn't. And this is another way of knowing that Esau is still the devil that you know. And then this is I guess it's Jet, an article from Jet. And, you can read the whole article is right here. It basically says when the dude died, which was 1995. This is copyright published in 1995, copyrighted in 2004. No mention of black Hebrew Israelite anywhere. Why? Because the term didn't exist at this time. There was nothing on Hebrew Israelites anywhere. Just further letting you know that Esau is a liar and he's the devil. He controls most of this media, Wikipedia included, all this new media. So of course he's gonna put in whatever he wants wherever he can fit it. However, in old original articles, it's not there. 2004 is not there. The original articles that aren't rewritten is not there. And of course, the nail in the coffin is this original article right here, which was written by Wolfgang Saxon, August 22nd, 1995. Surely it would have been in here. This is the time when he died. What is the guy, Marcus Chernow? This is the year that he died. This is an original article by Wolfgang Saxon of the New York Times. Surely it would mention his black Hebrew Israelites origins in here. But you can read this whole article here. And guess what you won't find? You won't find a mention of nothing even resembling Hebrew Israelite, let alone black Hebrew Israelite. Why? Because the term was not even thought about at this time. Letting you know that Esau is still a liar. And that's what brings me to these scriptures that I got. John 8:44. Ye are your father the devil. And this was talking about Israelites that followed Edomites. Ye are of your father the devil. Just like these Jakes are doing. Because yes, she's a so-called Latino, just like him. And they following vocab this Edomite, man. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. The devil, vocab, the Edomite, is a liar and the father of it. What? He belongs to the Edomite race. And of course he can easily spread these lies. Hey, these lies agree with his agenda, which further supports that the thought, I speak as a man, that he's some type of agent. Yeah, I do believe that vocab is some type of agent as well. You know, I mean, he just threw this on out there. Anybody going to Wikipedia, because this is about as much research as Jake is going to do. I'm going to go to Wikipedia. No, I'm going to look up as many older articles as I can to see if this is true, man. And basically you find out when you look at older articles about this same incident that happened that the words Black Hebrew Israelites not mentioned, nor did the man that murdered the Mr. King's wife, nor do he ever say that he was affiliated with any Israelite group. In fact, the thing that he said, the black pastors are corrupting black people's minds, you know, because that's supposedly what he said. He was right about that. Pastors in the black church are corrupting black people's minds. That's true. And if that's the reason why the Lord put that spirit of vengeance on them, hey, they knew back then. However, he was not affiliated with any Israelite group as far as what he says. And he spent many years in prison to admit it, but he didn't. Why? Because it wasn't even around back then. He didn't know about it. He just knew the pastors were wicked. That's what he knew. And for my last scripture, I'm going to get Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. And with that, I'm going to close. And I hope you Achim out there were edified. Till the next time, all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash. The belongings to the Apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Achim, doing the work in truth and sincerity. Shalom.